Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you very much. In fact, I'm slightly nervous today. This is my first time, so if any loopholes, you have to excuse me, okay? But first I'll tell you about myself as I give you the paper, but maybe slightly different than that, what I'm going to say today. My name is Nimai Singh, as you can see. Nimai is an, what is that, Hindi word, basically. So, I don't know, my grandfather gave me this name, and he told me it's the name of one of the gods. Indians believe in many gods, actually. Huh? So, Krishna, the name of God Krishna, and I was very uncomfortable, actually, when I came to know the meaning of my name. So, I came from eastern part of India. I'll explain to you later, but precisely it's out here. This is my state. I was born there. And then I've got 5 siblings in our family. I have 2 older sisters, 1 older brother and 1 younger sister. They're all married and they're living in India, in my hometown in Manipur. And my mother, father, they are still healthy, fortunately. I thank God for that. But unfortunately, I can't meet them very often. It's been, in fact, 5 years now. And we communicate through the phone, but meeting personally is very difficult. It's too far away and it's expensive, you know. I can't go very often. Well, they're all healthy anyway. In Korea, I have 5 of us in our family. My wife is a Korean, actually, fortunately. Huh? And I've got 3 children, 2 daughters, 1 son. My first daughter is in the high school 1st grade now. And son is middle school 3rd grade. And second daughter is elementary school 4th grade. And but I still feel very young. There's a big problem. All right, so there is one. And what I do is that I teach in kindergartens in the morning. I teach English as well as about Indian culture. We call it Indomunha Iyagi. So I go there in the morning. Afternoon I go to English academies. 2 English academy. I go, 1 in Ochang, 1 in Sanamdong. And evening I teach private lessons like choir. You say choir? I have about 4 students, middle school and elementary school. That is what I do as a profession, as a job. And then how I came to Korea is that because I met my wife, I married my wife, otherwise I would have been in India actually, basically. So before we came to Korea, we had a hard time, you know, thinking where to settle. So it's been off and on. So many times we went back to India, we lived there for 2 years, then we came back to Korea again. So like that we have been up and down so many times. But finally we made up our mind to be in Korea, because Korea is more comfortable. And the people are very nice. And the one thing I like about Korea is that people are very hardworking. They're very kind. And that suits me quite well, even though I cannot be like you people. I try my best. So we finally decided to settle here. So in Seongsu, as ma'am said, it's been almost 8 years now. In Chungpyeong, I was for 2 years. We were there for 2 years. Then we've been to Ansan, then Yongin, then Icheon, a couple of cities in Korea. I have the different kind of jobs as well here. So I've got a lot of experience in Korea. But I love this country anyway. So that's what I do. That's all for my introduction. Is that all right? Any questions? If you have any questions, you can ask me. Or if you want me to talk about any specific part of India, you can ask me, raise your hand. Because I really don't know what should I talk about. But then Jay recommended me to talk about education system and my school life. So first I was thinking I'll talk about Indian culture and the history of India. As you guys must know that India is a very complicated country. All right. So we'll go to the before we do that, I'll sing a song. There is Indian national anthem. You know what is anthem, right? Indian national song, Eguka. You call it Eguka. In English, we call it anthem. Okay. So let me just try. Okay. It's in Sanskrit. You know what is Sanskrit? Sanskrit is the mother language of Hindi. Hindi is the modified form of Sanskrit. And I also can't even understand. But my grandfather was very good at it. He was kind of a priest. Okay, let me try. Okay, Jana Gana Mana. It goes like this. Jana Gana Mana Dinayak Jaya Hai Bharat Bharga Vidhatha Punjab Sindhu Gujarat Maratha Dabindu Uchal Banga Binda Himachal Jamuna Ganga Uchal Chala Sitaranga Tab subna mein jaage tab subha aasis maage Bharat Bharga Vidhatha Jan Gan Man Adinayak Jaya Hai Bharat Bharga Vidhatha Jaya Hai Jaya Hai Jaya Hai Jaya 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 Hai. Okay? But in kindergartens, I slightly change the tune and the speed of the song, and I play some kind of a tabla, we call it tabla, some kind of a small drum. I play with that. It sounds more interesting, but I can't do that here. Maybe next time I'll try that for you. Okay, that's the anthem. It's all about different parts of India. They mentioned, and you must have heard that Himalaya, then Ganges rivers coming in this song. I believe it was written by Rabindranath Tagore. You know Rabindranath Tagore? Rabindranath Tagore? With the man with the massive beard, long beard. He was from Bengal. Anyway, he got the Nobel Prize in literature. Literature, long time ago. The first Nobel Prize winner from India. All right, we'll go to the next line. What is that? Just a moment, please. This is done. National anthem done. Okay. This is the map of India. Basically, as you know, anybody can guess how many years the British Empire colonized India? Anyone? Just take a wild guess.
Over 100 years.
Oh, very close. I also felt like that. Somebody told me like that. But then I checked up the other day. It's precisely 89 years. 1885 to 1947. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if you're right, but I checked with the internet. It says 89 years. 89 years is a very long time, almost a century, right? And so the culture, the education system, even the constitution of India is all based on British style till now. Only 50% has been amended. That means change from British to Indian style. But still now, the law, the system, education system, everything is based on British style so far. Okay, till now. That's why you must know about that. How about Korea? How long did Japan colonize Korea? Oh, you guys are smart to tell me. I didn't know that. So, as you can see, you know, before, Pakistan, China, not China, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, they were all part of India before British colonized India. So I'll share a short, story about what happened before. So before that, it was all divided provinces, small provinces. It wasn't a country, in fact. So every province had their own prince or the king. Then British came, started colonizing one by one. Okay? And then, all together, they combined together and made it as the India. And then they ruled for 89 years. Then in 1947, we got independent. But then, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, we got divided, So it became like that, basically. So now, as you see, there are 29 states in India, 29 states. Like in Korea, we have 8 provinces. Here we call it 8 provinces, right? 8, am I right? 8 provinces. Like US has got how many states? 53 now, man. Wow, that's great. I just thought it's 51. Now it's already 53. So India has got 29 states now, right, presently. So every state has their own language, culture, food different, different clothing style, everything is different. So it's kind of so India has the most diverse culture, as you see. So if you go to the north side, south side, west, or the east, all different. Language, the food, culture, tradition, is all different. So it's a very complicated country, India, basically. But we are trying to live as one country, which is practically is very difficult to call as one country, India. Okay? So that is what about. And languages. Can anybody guess how many national languages India might have? In Korea, we have one national language, Hangul, right? US has got English. How about India? Anybody? 10? Well guessed, but little more than that. Anybody else? Just give a wild guess, come on. Sorry? 20? Good. What's your name? Mr. Hardy. Huh? What? Your name, what's your name?
Oh, my name?
Constanzo, very good. It's 22. Two more. There are 22 national languages in India. National language means what? What do you understand by national language? What is national language? Can you try? Anybody? Just try. Don't feel shy. Just try. It's okay. What is national language? Come on, speak up. Okay? National language is the language recognized by the government. So why I'm telling you this is that because in schools in India, any student can write their exam or study their subjects in any one of these 22 languages. Let's say there are 22 people here. She wants to study, let's say, Hindi. She wants to study Manipuri. He wants to study Marathi. So anyone can offer the medium you want. Okay? So the government has to publish all the school books in 22 different languages. Can you imagine that? So when you write your exam, you can write in your mother tongue. So if I go to Manipur, the language I speak is Maitailon or Manipuri. What I use with mom and dad and my family. They don't speak Hindi, they don't speak English. So most of the Indian students, they can speak about 3 languages. One is English, one is the Hindi, and the other one is their native language. Like mine is Manipuri. I also could speak only Manipuri until 11 years old. Then I went to central part of India through some government scholarship. I went to some residential school. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. Public school or boarding school. There I learned English and Hindi. It was very difficult for me. Until 11 years old, I couldn't say, oh, my name is Nimai, I'm from Manipur. I couldn't say that. So you guys can do much better than me when it comes to English. You guys can speak so fluent. So that is what India is like, okay? So, national language is 22, but when it comes to mother tongue, can you guess how many could be there? Including dialogues and all that, is 1,652. 1,652 native languages all over in India, okay? So it's a vast country, basically. And then, what was that I was trying to talk about? Could you just pass me that one, please? I'm sorry. I don't remember everything. Yes, forgive me, okay? About India, okay, let's try some Hindi. How about this? Where is the next one here? Anybody know what is the Hindi? I think maybe ma'am could try this. You must know that. What's your name? Aapka naam kya hai? It says. Everybody, come on, let's try. Aapka naam kya hai? Aap is a respectable word to the elders or your, what is that? Elderly people. You say aapka naam kya hai? But to the same age people, otherwise the younger people, you can say tumhara naam kya hai? Or simply naam kya hai is better, right? So you say, my name is Sonu. So, Mera naam Sonu hai. Come on, let's try. Mera naam Sonu hai. So, Hindi is the most commonly spoken language all over India. So, if you can speak English and Hindi, you can travel comfortably anywhere. But you can't speak English to the people who drive taxi or the rickshaw pullers or the street vendors, you know. So you have to use the Hindi to them. But to the people who go to schools or the educated people, you can speak English as well. So English and Hindi, if you know these two languages, you can go and travel to India. Okay? Or if you want to go, you can let me know. I can be your guide. Okay? There's the Hindi. In the next slides, this is flag of India. We call this Tiranga. Tiranga is another Sanskrit word. Tiranga means three colors. Okay? The meaning of Tiranga is three colors. So these colors I'll just simply explain to you. Can you guess what color is the first one? You'll say orange, but that's not orange. Hmm? Not gold as well. Gold is quite different. Indians do not say yellow. We call it saffron. Saffron. S-A-F-F-R-O-N. Saffron. I was wondering, what is this word saffron? But it's an English word. I don't know the origin of the word saffron. Like many English words that borrowed from Latin or the Spanish, you know, right? Saffron is slightly lighter than orange. Orange is a little darker. Okay, the difference. So this is saffron. Saffron means the meaning of saffron is nothing but what is that? Saffron is courage. Courageous. You know what is courage? Courage is 용감한. Courage. So saffron symbolizes courage, and the white is the peace, sign of peace, and green is the sign of prosperity. You know what is prosperity? I wish you a happy and a prosperous new year. What is prosperous? Yes, it's fine for you become famous or successful in life. Prosper, that means you keep growing up, right? You become a prosperous person in life. So prosperity. What is this one? Sorry. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. Here in the middle, I don't know so well about that. This is called chakra, around 24 chakra, maybe 22 or 24. It is from Ashoka king. You have heard the name of Ashoka? Ashoka was a famous king in India. So I believe this was taken out from that symbol. So only the three colors I know the meaning of that. The middle one I'm not very sure about it. How about anybody? Anyone knows about the meaning of Korean flag? What does white symbolize? Anyone? I don't know very well. Peace? White is peace? How about the red? Come on. If you know, just speak up. You know? White is peace? Blue, how about blue? Ocean? Are you sure? I still don't know. Anyway, that's fine. Because I should be learning more about Korea as well. But I've heard about it before, but it's quite meaningful, Korean flag as well. Okay, that is all about Indian flag. We'll go to the next. This is my homestead where I was born. This is my hometown, Kakching. We call it Kakching. The name of the state is called Manipur. So Manipur is one of the 29 states of India. As I said, there are 29 states. Manipur is my hometown. And Kakching is the place where I was born, here. And if you go there, in Manipur we speak Meitei Lon or Manipuri we call it. So when I came to Korea first time, people thought maybe I might be having some cultural shock or all that stuff, but I didn't have any, fortunately. And in fact, I found quite a lot of similarity between my hometown, native people, and the Korean. One is, you'll be surprised to know that. You know, sangukjang, the fermented beans, we also eat in my hometown. So when I came here, I was very surprised. How come? Did my mother send this here or not? Then I came to know it's a all Korean traditional food, even in my hometown. But if you go to different parts of India, they don't eat anywhere else, only in my hometown, only in Manipur state. There was one very surprising thing I found out. So I didn't have much problem coming to Korea. So the people of Manipur, that's what I heard that my great-grandfather, he told me that we are originally Mongoloids, ethnically, no? Ethnically. Like if you see the people from northern India, they're mostly Aryans. Aryans, they came from the Europe long time ago. But Manipuris, I heard they're from Mongol. So the language we have is Maitelon, that is our own language. But the script we use is Bengali. Man must be knowing about Bengal, right? West Bengal. So West Bengal is another state of India. We use their script, but the language that we speak is our own language. So here the food, the clothes, the culture, tradition, even belief, everything is different from other parts of India. So I lived here for about until 11 years old, 11, 12. I was in Manipur. I studied in school there, and all the books were in my own language, Maitelon. English and Hindi I had as a optional language. And then, fortunately, I got scholarship. Then I went to a boarding school. That's what I'll be talking about. So now, before I go to that, we'll talk about most of the schools in India. India basically has got this kind of schools, as you can see, public or the government school. In Korea, mostly it's all public or government schools, right? Elementary school or middle school or high school, and supported by the government. In India, maximum number is public or the government schools, as you know. But since the government cannot provide all the facilities, most of the people, most of the students who are from the wealthy family or those who have money, they go to there's the second one, private or the boarding school you call it. So private or the boarding school is nothing but residential school as well, we call it. There you have to live inside the school campus. You will live in a dormitory, you will eat there, you will do everything there. You will be away from your family. So only during the vacation, you can go home. So the whole year you're going to be there. And nowadays, even these international schools, recently it came up. From about 2-3 years ago maybe, a lot of international schools pop up in India, especially in major cities like Mumbai or New Delhi, Bangalore. But there are not so many of them. And they're also mostly run by the Indians, those who are rich, those who have a lot of money. So there you will see a couple of foreigners as well. But most of them, 90% of the students are all Indians. But they're from very wealthy family. They've got a lot of money. And the school, people say, oh, this is air-conditioned school. Most of the people will say, you enter the school, everywhere is air-conditioned. Can you believe it? In international schools, most of them. And then, we have one more school, but there I'm not mentioning that. There are just few of them. So today I'm going to be talking about private and boarding school life. In public school or the government school, the system is quite similar to Korea. Only the timings are slightly different. Like there, most of the schools will finish at 1:30 or 2 o'clock. I'm talking about the public or the government schools. Okay? And then they can go home. So in the morning, you go to school, you pack your lunch, or otherwise you go back home and have lunch. And then after that, you're free. You can go to the library, study, or stay back school. It's your choice. Okay, unlike Korea, slightly different. Like high school students go to stay in school until 10 o'clock, right? But in India, it's not like that. It's quite different. From 1:30, you're free. You want to go to India? There are so many students from Korea in India. They speak English so well. Because as you know, there are many Korean companies, Samsung, Hyundai, LG. So there are a lot of people there. So there are many students studying in public schools, mostly public schools or international schools. So that is what the public or government school about. I'm not going to take much time on that. We're going to talk about private or boarding school because I studied from there, so I'd like to share about that school. Why? There are not so many public or boarding schools in India. Maybe about 5% or 10%, maybe less. So before that, let's talk about it. Maybe there is a slight mistake here. I made a slight mistake here. So the school type of schools are here. Kindergarten, they start from 4 to 5 years old in India. We call that sometimes nursery, right? Kindergarten. And then primary school, 6 to 10 years old. There's class 1 to class 5. We say class 1 to class 5. It's like starting of elementary school in Korea, something like that. Okay? And then in middle school, we have 11 to 14 years. The age group might be slightly mistaken, so you have to check up on the internet if you want. Okay? Sorry about that. And in secondary school is precisely middle school in Korea. So we have 14 to 16 years, that is class 9 to class 10, just 2 years. Class 10 is very, very, very important, the exam. So the school do not take the exam in class 10. The test or the exam will be conducted by, we call it 2 boards we have. One is the British board, ICSC we call it. It was started by the British government. And after the independence, Indian government started CBSE, we call it CBSE. So schools in India, some schools will be run by the ICSE board, some schools will be run by the CBSE board. So class 10 exam will be conducted by the government, these 2 boards, not by your school. So that means all over India will be taking the common exam. You getting my point? So that score is very important, class 10, for entering your university. But class 12 is most important, more important than class 10. And class 11 is time to just have fun. People feel like that in India, just relax. We don't study much, basically. But then class 12 is most important part of your career. Because according to your class 12 result, you will get into the university. So that exam is most important. So I think this is supposed to be 19 maybe, 17 to 19 years old, if I'm not mistaken. In Korea, what age you graduate high school? 19? It is 18 in India. Then maybe it's right. I don't know. So age difference is like American style and Korean style, a little different, right? We go like American style. Am I right? No? So if you're 18 years old here, you'll be 17 in India. So class 12 is most important. But still then, everybody finishes school by 1:30, 2 o'clock. So let's go on to the slide. This is my picture. This is my school building, actually. This was when I was in class 12, the final year of the school, high school. The other 3, as you see, he's from West Bengal, Calcutta, and he is from Andhra Pradesh. You know where's Taj Mahal? Over there, nearby there. And he is again from Calcutta. So in boarding schools, one thing interesting is that, you will find students coming from all over India. So some students will be from Manipur, some of them from Maharashtra, some of them from Rajasthan, some of them from southern part Tamil Nadu. So all these students coming from different culture, different parts of India, speaking different languages, eating different food, wearing different clothes. We all live together in the boarding school. So it's very interesting. At first, it's very difficult to adapt or adjust. There's a lot of complications, a lot of fight, a lot of misunderstanding. But then the school is very strict. We are trained just like soldiers type, like army. If I tell you that at the end of this talk, I'll tell you my school schedule, how we used to live. You'll be surprised. There's no time to take a break, actually. Just 1 hour, we can take a nap in the afternoon. Otherwise, the whole day we're occupied with different activities, but not only studies. Okay, I'll go to the... So, before that, let me mention about how the school was started. Basically, boarding schools were started a long time ago from ancient India, basically. But my school was started by a king India had different dynasties, as you know. Mughal dynasty, then the Qutub dynasty, the Scindia dynasty. The founder of my school was the Scindia dynasty. He was some Madhab Rao. I'm sorry, it's there, but I don't remember his name. Forgive me. So he started the school. This place was a palace before. It was a castle. We call it fort, F-O-R-T, fort. Fort is English word, but another word for fort is castle. Castle is, what is castle in Korean? Song, yes, that's right. She's right, song. So castle, it was a kind of castle. So it was a place where all the soldiers or his knights used to live, and he modified this building and made it into different houses and made a school building as well. And he started this school back to 1897, something like that, long time ago. Okay, right after the British colonized India, he started this school. So I'll go to the next slide. See, this is the wall of my school. My school is inside here. Can you believe that? You should visit this place. So it's a fort. It's in the middle of the city. Gwalior is in the middle of the city, and it's surrounded by this wall. And the school is inside. So the tourist people, they can come into the school by taking the permission from our principal or from the school board. They can come and see our school if they want, but they have to take a permission. But outside, there are a lot of things to see, you know, small buildings, and then the ponds where the queen used to take bath, or kings, the where gardens, there are a lot of things there. So people come there to see, you know. It's a kind of a tourist spot, in fact. So we were inside this, and we cannot go out. We're just like living in a jail. Sometimes many students who come from a rich family, they don't like the food there. But for me it was very good. But they get better food at home, so many of them, they even run away from school without informing the parents or the teachers. And some of them even committed suicide. I shouldn't be talking about it, but they tried to run. In the process, they got killed, some of the students, even in my time. So those things happen sometimes. So this was back to, I joined my school in 1987. In class 8 I joined, and I passed out in class 12. Then it's 5 years I lived there. So people who come here, they're mostly from very rich family. But I could get through there through government scholarship, actually. So Indian government has a system that from all over India, they will have an exam or a test, and they will choose out about, from my state, they choose out at the time 8 students. So from Manipur, around 500 students applied, 8 students got selected for public schools. But I was not very good at studies. But at the time I worked very hard, basically. I worked very hard. So from every state, a couple of students, the best students are selected, and they will be sent out to these different public boarding schools. Like my boarding school, there were about famous 6 of them. One is Dun School, one is the Scindia School, my school. One is in Ajmer, there's Mayo College. Then we have, where is that? Sanawar in Himalaya side, Simla. Like that, about 5-6 schools are there. So people who come from rural areas, like people from the poor families, but those who are good at studies, government will give them chance. That's how I got selected. But my father was not very poor. He was quite rich, but I couldn't afford there. Without a scholarship, I couldn't go there anyway. So in my school, we had just 3 of us who got scholarship. That's how I joined the school. Okay? And then, so this is about anything I'm missing out. If you have any questions, you can ask me. If you want to know more about it, because I don't know what should I talk about, basically. So this is how the school looked like. Now I'll go to the next slide. This is the classroom. But now if you see in a modern time, my school has been modified, they're refurbished. Refurbished means what? They have modernized the buildings. But at the time, school had a lot of money, but still they wanted to stay in the old system maybe, So the classes were like this. These are my friends. We were just studying hard for the final exam. We were just cramming up for the exam basically. And in one class, we used to have about 25 students. 25 students. Here, how many students do we have about in one class? 30? 28. Yeah, more or less same, I think. And then we had A, B, C, D, E, F, about 6 classes. So 25 into 6. So altogether, how many? That many students were there in one class. So in a school, now I would like to share that the study time basically was like this. School hour, we used to start at about 9 o'clock. We started the school and we finished by 1:30 in boarding schools. Okay. Then we have lunch. Then we go back to our dormitory, our house, and we can take rest for 1 hour. And then after that, we have to study for 1 hour. And then we go to sports, 1 hour. Then we come back, have some meditation, or I'll show you later, the slide will come. On a sunset, we sit down there and meditate, and teacher will come and preach us, or tell us about what is life all about, what is education all about, all that stuff. You guys are okay? Are you fine? I mean, my talk is okay?
Yeah.
It's not boring?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Because I don't know, what should I share about?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Was the meditation class mandatory?
Yes, it was mandatory. It was not basically meditation. What we did was that after the sports, we go take a shower, quick shower, then we wear this kurta paisama, which we'll be wearing the whole night till the next morning. Then we go there. There's a big hole, open hole, astachal. We call it astachal. We have to sit down there, and then a teacher will come up, especially music teacher. But the teacher can change every day. Then they will give us some good, quotes, famous quotes said by famous people a long time ago, like what is life all about, what is happiness, or what is religion, or what is education. So about 5 minutes he will lecture us, then we have to sit down there quietly for about 5 minutes and meditate or think about what life is all about, what is your life all about. And we see the sunset. There's the time of sunset. It's just to relax, because after the very tiresome day activities, we just relax, regain our energy. And then we go back, play in a common room for about 30 minutes, then we have dinner. Then after dinner, we go and study for 1 hour. It was mandatory for everyone to study till 10 o'clock. High school, middle school, elementary school, all till 10 o'clock it was mandatory. And after 10 o'clock, you can go sleep, or if you want, you can study more. But morning, you have to get up on time. Can you guess what time we used to get up in the morning? 7? 7? What? 5? That's too early. Yes? 6? Between that. Yes, 6:30. 6:30 was our reveille. We call it reveille or wake-up time. Reveille. You know what is reveille? Reveille is the word used in military, in army. This is the bell that they ring. Dang, 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 dang. Wake-up call. That's called reveille. So in boarding schools, we never use wake-up. We say reveille. So old guard, there's always a guard in every houses. I'll show you the houses, and then he will ring the bell. Enter all the rooms and ring the bell, then it's wake up, it's reveille time. And the time was very strict. We have to be really punctual. If we get that, heavy punishment. We get even beaten. Yeah. Surprised? Don't say I don't want to go to boarding school. That's how we used to be trained. It was very strict. We have to keep our time. That was a very important part of our life. Anyway, I'll go to the next slide. If you have any more questions, you can ask me, okay? Okay, subjects. I'll go to the subjects. This is class 5 to class 10. Class 5 to class 10 would be what? Up to elementary school and the beginning of middle school here, okay? Because it's all mixed up anyway. So we had English, Hindi. So English was first, Hindi was the first language for some students, and for some students, Hindi was the first language. And then the other one will be a second language for you. But it was mandatory. We have to study both languages, English, Hindi. But all the books were in English medium. English medium means what? Every book is written in English. So Indian students do not need to study English separately because all the books are in English. So for me, it was like a nightmare when I joined that school, you know. Seriously, I couldn't understand anything. Suddenly changed, everything is in English, and I can't even understand what is the teacher talking about, how I expect to write an exam. So what I did, I mucked up everything. Muck up, you know what is muck up? Memorize, I memorize everything. Question answers. That's the way how I survived. But then I fell, in the first year I fell in all the subjects. I couldn't pass any of the subjects. Hindi I got 0, English I got 4, mathematics maybe I got about 60, science and other subjects were a little okay. But Hindi was 0, English was 4. That's out of 100. Take-ism. Can you imagine that? But my teacher said, excuse, oh, that's fine. You're the first time. So, English, Hindi, mathematics, science, social studies. Social studies, you know, you also study history, then geography, physical education. There's PE, okay? These are the main subjects we had. This was compulsory for everyone. Up to class, like for you guys, up to class 12, up to high school, how many subjects you study? Up to high school? What, 7 to 10? What subjects do you do? Korean? Oh, okay. You have to choose one? Oh, okay. That's not bad. Okay, then, history? History is compulsory? No? In high school? Okay. How about geography? Oh, okay. You get one. Okay, all right. Physical education you have. Okay, that's great. And then we had these subjects as a hobby. We call it as a hobby or optional. So art was about drawing, as you know. Music was about, you can learn piano or guitar, whatever. Indians also had a lot of music, basically. Indians like music, you know. And then computer. Computer is basically very recently they started. In my school, when I was in my school, the computer came after 2 years after I joined school. Before that, we didn't have computer class. And then woodcraft. Woodcraft is like making table, chairs, anything that makes out of wood. And we had a big department for that. Woodcraft was my hobby, basically. And then metalwork. Metalwork is that you know what is metalwork? You can make anything with the steel, whatever you make with the steel. You can design your own stuff, like flower pot, or what else we can make with the metal? Knife, or whatever. So these out of the 5, you could choose as one hobby. Hobby was a kind of a free time for you. Don't study, just relaxing, you know? You do whatever you like to do. So these were the subjects that we had. And in class 12, 11 and 12, this is like high school in India, in Korea, okay? From there, we divided like this. We studied much less subjects in India compared to Korea. So once you enter this level, English was compulsory. Then Hindi was there or not, I don't remember so well. I'm sorry about that. Probably it was there. Since I was not good, it's not reflecting my memory. Anyway, English, physics, chemistry, and biology. You know what is all this subject? Physics, right? What do you call that in Korean? Buliha, right? Chemistry? Biology? Okay. And then mathematics. This is for the people, students who want to go to science stream. Okay? Those who want to study science. But then we had basically 2 subjects. But there's one more now, we call it art. So first is the science. And most of the Indians, they want to take science. And only the good students could take science. For example, in class 10, if you get up to 70 or 80% in aggregate, then you can take science. But below that, you cannot take science, even if you want to. That was one rule that we had, okay? So in India, you have seen this movie, Three Idiots? Anybody? Like that. So most of the Indian parents, they want their children to become doctors or engineers. Even till now, if you go to rural areas. But if you go to big cities, it's okay. I mean, parents, they're educated and they understand the situation of their children. Do whatever you want to do. But if you go to villages, otherwise rural areas, most of the parents feel their children should be engineer, otherwise doctor, or a government officer. The job is secure, right? Government officer. So this is for the science. So from the science, what you do is that if you want to become an engineer, you have to focus in this four. Biology is for the medicine, those who want to become doctor, okay? As you know that, right? Same thing out here. I'll go to the next subject. This is for the science. Next is commerce. Yes, that's right. This is called commerce, okay? We call it. You know what is commerce, right? So in commerce, we had English, accountancy, business studies, economics. So those who wanted to study science, but they couldn't go for science because of the less score, they go for commerce. Or those who really want to study, they also go for commerce. Or you can go for art. Art, I didn't mention in my slide. In art, basically you specialize in English, history and geography, and civics. We call it civics. Civics is like, here we call it social studies maybe, Sawe. In India we call it civics, okay? So in art I'm not mentioning here, so you specialize in history or geography like that, in art. So people feel whoever has taken science, they're intelligent and smart students. Those who take art, they're stupid. But it's not like that. It's your interest, right? You should decide what subject you want to study. So this class 12 exam score was very important for entering university. But in some universities in Delhi, they have entrance exam. Entrance exam is like you have, in high school, you have entrance exam. What is that? Sunam? Yeah, something like Sunam. In some university they have. After you finish your high school, even if you get very good score, some university or some college, we call it college, that is also slightly different. Like if you go to Korea, USA, they also call it Harvard University, Oxford University in England. But in India, university, like if you say Delhi University is not just one college. It's the combination of so many colleges together, compiled together. So if you go to Delhi University, there will be about 20 or 30 colleges. So all these colleges combined together, we call it Delhi University. But in Korea, if you go to Seoul National University, there's just one building, right? I mean, one building means one college. That is slightly different. So out of these colleges, some colleges had the entrance exam. Even if you got very good score in class 12, you have to pass the exam. Then you can enter that college. But there are not many of them, just some of them. Like St. Stephen College in Delhi University. So this is about commerce. And this is about the houses. I'll talk about the dormitory life, okay? This is my house, Dolat house. My school had about 9 houses. And the school was divided into 2, junior school and a senior school. In junior school was from class 1 to class 5. Class 1 to class 6, okay? And in senior school we had class 7 to class 12. That was senior school. So in senior school we had about 9 houses, and in each house there were about 60 to 80 students. So let's say in my whole school there were about 800 students. So these students will be divided into all these 9 houses. So in one house there are 80 students, but they will be from different levels. From grade 1, from class 5, class 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, all combined together around 80 students will be living in that house. So each house has a house master. This gentleman here, he was my house master this morning. Is okay? I'm very poor at this. Yeah. He was my house master. This was me, fortunately. So each house had a captain. There has to be a captain, or the prefect, we call it prefect. In the house we call it captain, in a school we call it prefect, school prefect. And then this friend of mine, Rishi Quatra, he's a very big businessman now in Mumbai. He deals with jewelry, diamond and gold. And they're all big shots now. Only I am a teacher out here, but I'm happy with what I am. That's what matters, right? And he was also another house prefect. So two of them will be helping me out. So in each house there was a house captain and a two prefects. Okay? So all here on the chair, we were from class high school. And the rest are all combined middle, what is that? Class 10, 11, 12, all combined together. And then we had a guard there. Can you see that? Well, there's one more, two of them were there. So they used to help us out, cleaning the... Oh, all right, sorry. I'm running out of time, I'm sorry, you know. So I'll a little bit speed up, okay? So each house had about 80 students. And then we had lived a very strict life there. So we have to get up on time, as I mentioned you before. And then the house captain will check every student before we go to school, whether they are dressed up well or that they are on time. If we are late for the school, we get punishment. Okay? Let's not talk about the punishment now. We'll go to this. This was my prep room where we used to study. So there was two big holes like this. So everyone had desks like this, desks on a chair. And we keep our books inside the desk, and we had to study. And there should be absolute pin drop silence during the study. So this was the break. This is the kurta paisma I was talking about. We wear this one after the school. And then this was the common room where we can listen to music, then we can play chess, we can play carom. Carom is a traditional game there in India. We can relax there precisely. The pictures at the back, they're all the group pictures that you just saw before mine. The old students' pictures. So we could relax there for a while. And this was our school sports uniform. And this was the Levers Trophy we won. So every houses had an annual competition in every field, in sports, in academy, in debate, or maintenance of the house. Each house has a garden as well, so we had to maintain a garden, we have to keep the house clean, the dormitory should be neat and tidy. So every year we had a competition and the house would get the trophy. So our house got the Lever Trophy. Lever Trophy means like we go to some villages and help them. It's a dry land in India, you know. So we dig and plant trees and help them build a house, whatever. So our house fortunately won the trophy at the time. And this was our sports team, like cricket team. We had many sports, like cricket. Major sports were cricket and soccer or football. And then, hockey. And the swimming was there, horse riding was there. So every house had this competition, all the 9 houses. Okay? Then, this is what I was talking about, a statue, where we meditate or take a break. You know who is that at the back of the picture? Whose statue is that? Can you guess? What? No. Buddha? No. Gandhi. You know Gandhi? Gandhi is known as the father of the nation because every Indian feels that we got independent because of Mahatma Gandhi. But unfortunately, he was assassinated by his own disciple. You know, his own student killed him. You might know the story. But so it's quite complicated in India. So anyway, this is the place where we used to meditate. So here, the teacher will be sitting over there. And these are not teacher, these are the captain. The teacher comes there, give us some speech or preach us, you know, tell us about life or whatever, as I told you before. And the sunset is there, so beautiful. So we're in the fort, like this mountain. So the view was so nice, very beautiful. Next slide. This is the dining hall, but not for my time. because this is the modernized time. I don't have any picture of dining hall. So food was very good in my school. So every house had the different table, different parts. Like Dolot house will be on this side. The big dining hall is there. Then this is Dharma. What is that? Madhav house, then Ranodi house, like that. So every captain will pray before we eat. And everyone follows that. In English we used to pray, sometimes in Hindi. I don't know, it was a Christian prayer or otherwise the Hinduism, I don't remember exactly. There were some prayers with there, and then we eat food. And the food was very delicious, basically. But most of the people who were from rich family, they didn't like it. So Indians eat a lot of roti or the naan, as you know, and then rice in the evening. But for us in bonus school, they serve both. So whatever we want to have, we can just choose them. Just a moment. Should I go to Jay? Excuse me. Should I go to the pub quiz now, or after the break? So I need to wind up now.
Right on what?
Do I need to wind up? I wrap it up now. So all right, guys. I'm sorry about this. Okay. After the break, we'll have a short break, and then we'll have a pub quiz about India and my school. Just take it easy, just for fun. Okay? You don't need to be perfect about it. All right. Thank you very much. Okay.